my reflection today is about I had this kind of big realization around this project. So when I first started, I pitched this idea of me doing these video essays kind of as part of it, thinking that I could talk through kind of what I was experiencing in real time. And I thought that'd be an interesting kind of insight into the experience of going through gender transition. And then I kept on delaying and delaying and delaying in October and November. And then in December, things got busy when I really needed to do it. And I recorded kind of one in December, and then the first one really in earnest was January. I didn't know when we first started this of kind of where the emotional touch points would be. I kind of figured because it's so personal, the project, that there would be moments in the experience in which I felt overwhelmed. And anyway, I wasn't sure kind of when those moments would come, but I had one through that roundtable. And I had it, what the original intention with the roundtable was, is that we wanted us to pull a group of people together, other queer and trans people, to make sure that we were capturing multiple perspectives to just paint a bit of a broader picture of what the experience is like, so it's not just told through my lens. A couple things happened. One is just I was surprised by how quickly we were able to forget that the cameras were there. Truly, like there's these gigantic cameras kind of off to the side, and I was worried that it would feel really unnatural. But really quickly, the group of people that we had, Miranda and Finn and Keena and Brooks, just our conversation was really beautiful and easy, and it flowed really well, and it felt like we were among friends. And I was really happy with just the people that we brought together, sharing their experiences so openly.
Okay, I know we just did introductions. I'd like to go around again, and what I'd like is folks to give names, pronouns, and something that happened this year or you did this year that you're really proud of. So Elli McDine, she, her, and honestly, just surviving a 6 and a 4-year-old, who are wonderful maniacs in my house. Yeah, co-parenting and just having this really lovely kind of family life in the middle of embracing queer joy. Do you want to go right?
Sure. Keena, she, they, something that I'm proud of last year. Finally just making a huge artistic jump and putting my name out for creating a play about immigrant queers. So, super excited about that.
I want to hear more about this.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanzania Tsigason Sipsis, Kabotagao Chinia, Kamasutik Nikotwasik, Brooks Arkan Paul, he, him. I introduced myself in my language. I come from the Alexander First Nation, and I mentioned my traditional name, which is Sipsis, which was given to me when I was born. One thing I am proud of this year was getting elected into the 31st legislative session as the first Two-Spirit MLA in Alberta's history.
I'm Finn, he, they, and I am really proud of some of the work that I've been able to do in queer and trans research this year. I am overseeing a national study on substance use within the 2S LGBTQIA+ community, and I'm really just excited to be able to do work that has impact on my community.
Miranda Marr, she, her. I opened my own massage practice this last year, and I've managed to center trans bodies and make that like a primary focus. I'm very proud of that.
This is great. I'm learning so much already about this. This is wonderful. I kind of want to have like side conversations with this. Can we go around one more time? And I just want to ask about what your passions are. It might be work, it might be outside of work. We know that there's different ways of kind of finding those passions, and So what are you passionate about? What are some hobbies that you really like? What makes your life feel really full and rich?
Oh my gosh. Well, definitely music and building queer communities.
Yeah.
So a lot of the work that I do is either giving a platform for queers, whether it's through events or through plays, and just kind of uplifting those stories. So yeah, you'll see me all around just promoting queers, promoting joy. So
Keena is like a great follow on Instagram, and it makes me feel like I'm not a big going out person. And yeah, like every time I'm like, I'm gonna go dancing tonight. This is gonna be it. Yeah.
I don't know how you have the energy. I see your like stories, and I'm like, I'm in bed.
the cat helps.
That's where I watch the stories in bed. I'm like, oh yeah, good dancing.
Those midday naps really help with the cat. So.
My passion is advocacy, and it's always been that way. And my free time and my hobbies have always been just being an advocate, whether it's for the Indigenous community or for our queer community. With the rise in hate and the anti-trans movements and anti-drag movements of all things, it's been really difficult to just sit back and not have these conversations and continue this advocacy. So my whole life is committed to doing that work and getting to be in community. I think that's really what brings me back home and reminds me of the work that I do, is just being around our people and just feeling the love and giving love right back.
I feel you on the being in community. I was trying to figure out how do I like summarize everything that I'm passionate about, and I think that's it, right? Whether that's within my work with queer and trans folks, or one of the things I do is I run a queer climbing collective, and I rock climbed for years and didn't really see myself represented in this space, and a friend that I'd worked at a gym with was like, why don't we just do this thing? And it's been so beautiful, and I've made so many friends through it, and yeah, I think just being in community, and I think queer joy is contagious, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you have someone around you who's just like really feeling themselves, it makes you feel yourself too.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Monday. Yeah, I haven't gone for a while, so don't judge, but it's I'm really excited. It is a really queer celebratory space that you've created, so it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Miranda?
I find a lot of joy in my work. Like, I'm very passionate about it. It's so rewarding getting to help my community heal and like provide space for that. Beyond that, I just enjoy like my work-life balance, I suppose, and just being able to flit from hobby to hobby, and yeah, it's good.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
What I found was that we all had these different experiences. Brooks and I, and Miranda and I, and everyone in that group around the round table had these different experiences. But I'm watching the conversation happen, and I can see people attaching themselves to themes that another person is experiencing. Just the little subtle things of the nodding, the knowing nods that you're experiencing when people talk about what it's like to go home, or the joy they felt being in queer spaces for the first time, or things of the first bit of gender euphoria they felt buying something that felt buying an article of clothing or expressing yourself in a specific way that felt really free.
Is just what queer joy means to you. What does that phrase evoke for you?
Such a simple question, but it's so complicated at the same time. I mean, you know, I can just list a few. Like, for me, queer joy is to be able to express who I am from the inside outward, to be able to share my true authentic self with other people, and not feel like I have to cover parts of myself. That makes me really joyful. And also just building community with other queer folks. So yeah, that's huge for me. So
Yeah, kind of an interpersonal, inner experience as well as kind of in relation to
right.
other people.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, communities, like, I love building community. Like, you know, I feel because I grew up in a culture where it's like gathering over food, and the fact that I can do that here with with you folks. I feel like the fact that it's translating to the queer community is amazing. So yeah.
And it feels like everyone's kind of in that zone of accepting of that community and being built up by that community, but also takes that accountability of, I also want to create that actively, right? And in your own way, leveraging your skills or how you move through the world and every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels very familial in this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Brooks?
I think one of the greatest examples of that queer joy that I got to experience, even just this year, was the first Two-Spirit powwow that was held in downtown Edmonton. And having the blend of both my communities come together and getting to really celebrate that was really beautiful, because we don't really get that option often, especially as marginalized or racialized folks. That intersectionality doesn't always come, and it's quite difficult. And to come from two communities that face so much negativity and face so much oppression and hate, it was really nice to just have a space to be able to celebrate and be ourselves, and kind of echoing that theme. And I think it's going to be a constant theme on this topic, is just getting to be yourself.
Yeah.
I think getting to hold my partner's hand in public and just share love and not be questioned or be concerned about somebody making a comment or worrying about that. What I love about living in Edmonton is that we are a really progressive city, and that we have many good folks around us that we can be ourselves. I'm not going to say it's rosy. I'm not going to say that it's perfect, but we do get that level of safety here in the city that I really, really appreciate. And I would say even in Calgary, I think both of our major cities have that safe space. But there's still work to do.
Yeah.
And I think being able to celebrate my intersectionalities and both of my identities has been the biggest aspect of what I think queer joy is for me.
Yeah. It's a big tent, right? Queer community, right? There's like, that's what I find so exciting, is learning about other people and their experiences. And it was unexpected a little bit when I came out of that, the joy of finding stories with other people and learning about them and these other identities that they're bringing in, their own experiences. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
There is such a beauty in queer community, and I think it's something that I didn't experience in the same way also before I came out, right? There's absolutely been challenges, but I think everything that I've gained as a part of being part of this community is worth it tenfold, right? The way that people show up for you and hold space for you to be yourself, and that you don't have to apologize for being yourself, and you can take up space. Those are things that I didn't always experience before being so in queer community. So I think that for me is a huge part of queer joy, is just that connection with people and the creating and holding space for one another.
Can I ask a follow-up on that?
Yeah.
And then Miranda, I want to hear your queer joy. Do you find that before you came out, because this was my experiences, there was, all I could see was the anxiety. All I could see was how difficult, because of the models of how I saw trans women in the media, is just this is a life of great difficulty, and it's going to be really hard. And I didn't see any of the other stuff, which is what mostly makes up the joy in my life now, right? Of being able to be in community with people who I really care about and I really love and I really want to be relied on. I love that feeling of also being taking care of other people and also being taken care of. And I didn't see that really at all before I'd come out. It was, all I saw was the negative. Was that a shared experience, or did you kind of have a glimpse into that world a little bit first?
No, I think that is a shared experience for sure. I think I just saw so many, negative stereotypes growing up, in the 90s, right? That I didn't really have models of what being a gender non-conforming person could look like, and that could actually be so incredibly freeing. And I didn't have models for the relationships that I have now that are so beautiful and so much healthier than the relationships I had when I was younger and before I'd come out. I think that really resonates.
Yeah.
now it's great to find trans joy in like those very mundane things, like just the lightness that comes with it, the way you can like show up in your, even outside of community, like showing up with my family and like my long-term friends. You feel more whole, I guess. Yeah.
I'm like trying not to cry early on in this.
Me too.
I have to like build to a climax because I like to I can't ruin that in the first 20 minutes. So I'm glad we're like starting to eat it. I feel the same. It's been, and the stuff that I was really worried about of like the idea of passing or any of these things that feel really, once you're kind of in it and you're in a relation and to other queer people, it's not like your anxieties go away or your worries go away, but it's a totally different lived experience of it, and how I value myself in those, right? It's listening for the first time.
And so I was very, very, very thankful for the experience. And I'm excited about kind of some of the stuff that we got into. I talked about stuff that I didn't think I was going to actually in this documentary about specifically some stuff with my dad that I got really teared up at, that I was kind of surprised that I actually did that in front of the camera. I mean, I'm not. I'm an emotional person. Everyone that knows me, I think, is like, you cry regularly. But yeah, that was a big one. Anyway, that's where I'm at on January 8th, 2024.